Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Cybersecurity Awareness Month, which takes place every October now in its 19th year, is a collaboration between government and private industry to raise awareness about digital security and empower everyone to protect their personal data from digital forms of crime. Joining us for this segment, we have Jill Fishbein, Managing Director at Truist Securities, to discuss the key security investment areas and what remains top of mind for Chief Information Officers. Jill, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. And what is the fastest growing verticals of IT software?
It's clearly cybersecurity and infrastructure software. We've heard the words, digital transformation, and it's been overused, but it's basically all companies of every size becoming software companies to help deliver their goods and services more economically to their customers. And it's been a boon for companies, but it's also at the same time been challenging to keep up with the expanding attack surface from a security standpoint. So those would be the two biggest areas or fastest growing areas of the IT security spend today.
And what are the key security investment areas, and what remains top of mind for Chief Information Officers? What keeps them up at night as they're looking to protect their businesses?
It's several things. Number one is what's called the human threat vector. And that's, just like you and I every day logging into their computer and maybe clicking on something that we shouldn't click on, or maybe not being as careful as we should be with our credentials. That's what keeps people up at night. And so you have to defend against that. So identity is one of the areas that they're very, very focused on right now, and making sure that the people that have access to what they're supposed to and don't have access to what they're not, and also making it very difficult for people to compromise credentials, because that's pretty much the area where people get in the most.
And can a single vendor stop a breach? And what do you think the weakest link is in all of this?
Absolutely not. I do not think that any single vendor, there is no silver bullet in security. I think, as you outlined in your opening remarks, this has got to be a combination between people acting smarter, government not just regulating, but being a partner to industry, companies doing a better job of covering their bases, and then organizations such as some of the security providers out there providing very good not only products, but also services to help people. One of the biggest challenges that CISOs have that we didn't bring up is that there's not enough talent out there, frankly, to cover the bases. And you've heard it all today. I hear anywhere between 1 and 3 million recs out there for qualified cybersecurity professionals. That's where I think government can come in and help and create some incentives for people to become cybersecurity experts, which would help alleviate some of the concerns of the CISOs out there.
Joel, this might seem a little bit remedial of a question, but how many vendors does a company employ, or what are the different types of vendors that they employ?
No, it's a fantastic question. And frankly, this is one of the most challenging parts of the security environment right now. We just published a report recently, and we've analyzed that there's over 3,000 private security vendors out there, along with 100 of public security vendors that are out there worldwide. And the average organization has, could have up to a couple hundred of them in their organization. And that's become a problem because it's hard to manage those vendors. It's hard to understand. But what's happened is, and this gets into the threat vector, as people have moved their applications and data to the cloud or a mobile or social environment, they just keep layering on technologies and layering on security vendors. So one of the things that I think that you'll see over the next 5 years is a significant amount of vendor consolidation, where partners like Palo Alto Networks or a CrowdStrike or a Zscaler or a Cloudflare become much more important inside an organization, and they'll be able to consolidate vendors within that organization. And you're not going to have so many what are called, quote, point solutions, but it's a fantastic point that you make.
So it sounds like expectation for the M&A cycle over the next 12 to 18 months could be robust.
Yes, we've already started to see it, and we've seen it less on the strategic side, meaning other security buying vendors, which we saw before. But because of the pullback in the markets, and the valuation compression, we've seen a lot of private equity vendors, private equity companies come in and start to make bids for software companies. So Google did buy Mandiant recently, which was not a private equity, but you've seen companies like KnowBe4 and ForgeRock and Ping and others that have got SailPoint have gotten bought by private equity vendors, by private equity companies. And we will continue to see that happen. And we think that we'll see a considerable amount of also what we call strategic, where companies buy other companies. And we think we'll start to see that over the near term, because not only are we seeing vendor consolidation, we're also seeing cash-rich balance sheets, right? Companies have billions of dollars on their balance sheets right now, and they need to put it to work. And if they can find good strategic acquisitions to accelerate their growth or expand their product offering, it makes a lot of sense for them to go out and consolidate them as opposed to trying to build them, internally.
All right, Joel, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm
Thank
Jill
you for having me.
Malandrino. You got it. Thank you.